Bare soil is one of the most overlooked problems in a garden. When the ground is exposed, sunlight dries it faster, weeds move it more easily, and the living biology beneath the surface has less protection. That is why nature almost never leaves soil uncovered for long. In forests, meadows, and even wild garden edges, plants quietly do the work that mulch does, shading the soil, holding moisture, softening temperature swings, feeding microbes, and slowly building a healthier growing environment. This is where living mulch becomes so useful. In today's Smart Gardening episode, we're exploring 10 incredible seeds that can help you grow a self-mulching garden naturally. Each plant on this list has a different role. Some spread like a soft green carpet. Some protect vegetable beds. Some attract pollinators. Some improve soil structure. And a few may surprise you because gardeners often overlook them completely. But here's the important part. Don't skip any plant, because the best choice depends on your garden's sunlight, soil, climate, and the crops growing nearby. A plant that works beautifully under fruit trees may not be right for a vegetable bed, and a ground cover that helps in one space can become too aggressive in another. So watch carefully until the end, because by the final plant, you'll understand how to choose the right living mulch for your own garden. Not just what looks good, but what actually supports healthier soil. And if you enjoy practical, research-based gardening videos like this video and subscribe to Smart Gardening, because more fresh and interesting garden ideas are coming next. Number 1 seed is white clover. White clover seed may look tiny, but in the right garden space, it can become one of the most practical living mulch choices. Across many American lawns, orchards, and backyard food gardens, white clover has been valued because it grows low, spreads gently across open soil, and helps create a cool green cover where bare ground would normally dry out. What makes the seed especially interesting is its relationship with soil biology. White clover belongs to the legume family, and when the right soil bacteria are present, its roots can help fix nitrogen. That does not mean it replaces fertilizer completely, but it can support healthier soil over time, especially in garden paths around fruit trees or between wider space crops. For living mulch, white clover works best in full sun to partial shade. It prefers moist, well-drained soil and usually performs better when the seedbed is lightly raked before sowing. Once established, it forms a soft cover that can reduce erosion, slow moisture loss, and provide flowers for bees and other pollinators. The key is placement. White clover can compete with young vegetables if it is too close, so it is better used around established plants, garden borders, orchard floors, or pathways. Mow or trim it when needed, and it becomes more like a living blanket than a garden problem. And this is only the first seed. The next one has a very different personality, especially for gardeners who want fast soil coverage. Number 2 seed is buckwheat. Buckwheat seed is one of the fastest ways to cover tired, exposed garden soil without waiting an entire season. Many gardeners use it as a short-term living mulch because it germinates quickly, grows densely, and shades the ground before weeds have a chance to take over. In American backyard gardens, buckwheat is especially useful during warm gaps between crops. Maybe spring lettuce is finished, but fall planting is still weeks away. Instead of leaving that bed bare under hot summer sun, buckwheat can step in as a temporary green cover. Its broad leaves help cool the soil surface, reduce erosion from summer rain, and create organic material that can later be cut down and left in place. Buckwheat prefers full sun and loose, well-drained soil. It does not need rich soil to perform well, which is one reason it has been used for generations as a practical cover crop. It grows best in warm weather, but is sensitive to frost, so timing matters. The flowers are another reason this seed earns attention. When allowed to bloom, buckwheat attracts bees, hoverflies, and other beneficial insects. But there is one important caution. If you do not want it to reseed, cut it before the seeds mature. Think of buckwheat as a fast, living soil shield, not permanent like clover, but incredibly helpful when your garden needs quick coverage. And the next seed brings a completely different kind of mulch effect, one that feels more like a living carpet. Number 3 seed is creeping thyme. Creeping thyme seed offers a different kind of living mulch experience. It is not the fastest seed on this list, and that is exactly why some gardeners appreciate it. Instead of racing upward, it settles in low and close to the ground, gradually forming an aromatic mat that protects the soil while adding texture, fragrance, and a more finished look to the garden. In many U.S. home landscapes, it is often used where practicality and beauty need to meet in the same space. Once established, creeping thyme can help shade the soil surface, reduce minor weed pressure, and soften the dry, exposed look that often appears between stepping stones, along bed edges, or around drought-tolerant plantings. Its tiny leaves release a subtle herbal scent when brushed or stepped near, which gives it a sensory quality that loose mulch never really provides. From a horticultural standpoint, this seed performs best in full sun and well-drained soil. It is especially useful in areas that stay relatively dry, because thyme dislikes soggy ground and usually struggles in heavy, poorly drained clay. Germination can be a little slower than quick cover crops, so patience matters in the early stage. But over time, it creates a low, resilient cover that can tolerate light foot traffic and attract pollinators when it flowers. The caution is simple. Creeping thyme is ideal for pathways, borders, and ornamental kitchen gardens, but not the best choice for deeply shaded or constantly wet beds. If buckwheat is a fast worker, this seed feels more like a long-term craft. And the next seed shifts again, bringing a richer farm garden tradition into the picture. Number 4 seed is winter rye. Winter rye seed has a tougher, more practical character than many living mulch choices. It is not planted because it looks delicate or ornamental. Gardeners use it because it can protect soil when most warm-season plants have already finished their work. In many U.S. gardens, especially where fall leaves blow away or vegetable beds sit empty through winter, winter rye becomes a living cover during the cold months. What makes this seed valuable is its ability to germinate in cool weather and grow a strong root system. Those roots help hold soil in place through winter rain, wind, and freeze-thaw cycles. Above ground, the green blades cover the surface, reducing erosion and keeping the bed from sitting exposed for months. When spring arrives, the growth can be cut down and left on the soil as a natural mulch layer. Winter rye prefers full sun and grows well in many soil types, including average garden soil that is not especially rich. It is often sown in late summer or fall after tomatoes, peppers, beans, or squash are finished. Water it lightly after sowing, then let the season do most of the work. The important detail is timing. If rye is allowed to mature too far, it can become harder to manage. Cut before seed heads fully develop, and give the residue some time to settle before planting small vegetable seeds nearby. Used thoughtfully, winter rye is like a cold season soil blanket, quiet, sturdy, and surprisingly useful. The next seed brings a softer look, but it works beautifully for pollinators and garden edges. Number 5 seed is sweet alyssum. Sweet alyssum seed is small enough to disappear in your palm, but once it settles into the right garden space, it can create one of the most charming living mulch effects. This seed grows into a low, flowering cover that feels especially useful around vegetable beds, herb gardens, and pollinator-friendly borders. It does not look like a heavy-duty cover crop, yet its value comes from the way it quietly fills open soil with soft foliage and clusters of tiny flowers. For U.S. backyard gardeners, sweet alyssum is often appreciated because it brings 2 benefits at once: soil coverage and insect activity. Its low growth can help shade small patches of exposed soil, while the flowers attract hoverflies, bees, and other beneficial insects. Hoverflies are especially interesting because their larvae may feed on aphids, making alyssum a helpful companion near lettuce, kale, peppers, and other vulnerable crops. Sweet alyssum prefers full sun in cooler weather, but in hot summer regions, it often performs better with afternoon shade. It likes well-drained soil and moderate moisture, though it does not want to sit in soggy ground. In many gardens, it works beautifully along bed edges, between taller plants, or near pathways where its honey-like fragrance can be noticed up close. The caution is that alyssum is not meant to smother aggressive weeds or replace thick mulch in every bed. Think of it as a living edge cover, gentle, useful, and pollinator-friendly. And the next seed takes us into a bolder, leafier style of natural soil protection. Number 6 seed is Nasturtium. Nasturtium seed is one of those garden choices that feels both practical and surprisingly alive. Unlike tiny cover crop seeds, Nasturtium seeds are large, round, and easy to handle, which makes them beginner-friendly for home gardeners across the United States. But the real value begins after they sprout. Nasturtiums grow into spreading plants with round leaves that can shade open soil and soften the edges of vegetable beds, containers, and fruit tree guilds. As a living mulch, nasturtium works best where you want coverage without a stiff, formal look. Its leaves spread outward, creating a loose green layer that helps reduce direct sun on the soil. That shade can slow moisture loss and make the garden surface feel less exposed during warm weather. The flowers also bring visual interest, and they can attract pollinators at areas where vegetables are growing nearby. From a practical growing point of view, nasturtium prefers full sun to partial shade and well-drained soil. Interestingly, it often flowers better in soil that is not overly rich. Too much fertilizer can produce lots of leaves but fewer blooms. Water it regularly while it is getting established, then keep the soil moderately moist without making it soggy. Gardeners often plant nasturtium near squash, cucumbers, tomatoes, or along raised bed edges. Some also use it as a trap crop because aphids may gather on it instead of nearby vegetables, though this should be monitored rather than assumed. If it spreads too far, simply trim it back. Nasturtium seed gives a garden a relaxed, edible, pollinator-friendly cover, and the next seed takes soil protection into a much more dense and leafy direction. Number 7 seed is hairy vetch. Hairy vetch seed brings a more serious cover crop energy to the garden. This is not the seed you choose for a neat decorative border. It is the seed you choose when the soil needs protection, biomass, and a stronger seasonal reset. In many U.S. vegetable gardens and small farms, hairy vetch is used as a living mulch or winter cover because it grows into a dense, trailing mat that can shield bare soil through cooler months. Its biggest strength is underground as much as above ground. Hairy vetch is a legume, and with the right soil bacteria, its roots can help fix nitrogen. That nitrogen is not instantly available like a liquid fertilizer, but when the plant is cut down and allowed to break down, it can contribute organic matter and support future crops. This makes it especially useful before heavy feeding plants like tomatoes, corn, squash, and peppers. Hairy vetch grows best in full sun and well-drained soil, though it can handle average garden conditions once established. Many gardeners sow in late summer or fall, let it cover the soil through winter, then cut it down in spring before planting. The vines create a thick layer that can act almost like a natural mulch mat when laid on the soil surface. The caution is important. Hairy vetch can become tangled, and if it is allowed to set seed, it may return where you do not want it. Cut before mature seed formation, and manage it with intention. Used well, this seed is less like decoration and more like a soil-building tool. Next, we move toward a seed that protects soil while adding a softer, meadow-like beauty. Number 8 seed is Daikon radish. Daikon radish seed may not sound like a mulch seed at first, but in a working garden, it can be surprisingly useful. Many gardeners in the United States know daikon as a long white root vegetable, but cover crop growers often value it for a different reason. It creates broad leafy growth above the soil and a deep taproot below it. That combination makes it feel like a two-level soil helper. When sown in late summer or early fall, daikon radish grows quickly and covers exposed beds with large leaves. Those leaves shade the ground, reduce direct sun on the soil surface, and help limit erosion from fall rain. Beneath the surface, the thick taproot can push into compacted layers, creating channels that may improve water movement and root access after the plant breaks down. Daikon radish prefers full sun and loose, well-drained soil, but it can still perform in average garden beds if given enough moisture during establishment. It works especially well after summer crops like beans, cucumbers, squash, or early tomatoes have been cleared. In colder regions, winter frost often kills the plant naturally, leaving leaves and roots to decompose into organic matter. The caution is timing. If planted too early and allowed to flower, it may set seed. And in mild winter areas, it may need cutting before it becomes too large. Used thoughtfully, daikon radish seed give your garden a temporary living cover and a natural soil opening effect. The next seed is smaller and softer, but its value comes from the way it quietly fills space around garden edges. Number 9 seed is Roman chamomile. Roman chamomile seed brings a quieter, kind of living mulch into the garden. It does not grow with the speed of buckwheat or the heavy biomass of winter rye, but offers something many backyard spaces need: a low, soft, fragrant cover that can make bare soil feel protected and intentional. In older herb gardens and traditional cottage-style landscapes, Roman chamomile has often been used in pathways, lawn-like patches, and garden edges because it stays low and releases a gentle apple-like scent when touched. From a gardening perspective, this seed is best for patient growers. The seeds are very small and usually need light to germinate, so they should be pressed onto the surface of prepared soil rather than buried deeply. Once established, Roman chamomile can form a dense mat that helps shade the soil, reduce small weeds, and soften the space between herbs, stepping stones, or ornamental beds. It prefers full sun to partial shade and well-drained soil. In hot parts of the United States, afternoon shade can help prevent stress, especially during dry summer periods. Keep the soil lightly moist while seeds are germinating, then reduce watering once the cover becomes established. The important caution is that Roman chamomile is not a rugged solution for every vegetable bed. It is better for pathways, herb gardens, borders, and calm corners where beauty and soil cover matter together. Used in the right place, the seed turns mulch into something sensory, soft underfoot, fragrant, and quietly useful. The final seed on this list brings us back to stronger soil-building power. Number 10 seed is crimson clover. Crimson clover seed is a powerful final choice because it brings together several qualities gardeners want from a living mulch: soil cover, beauty, pollinator support, and organic matter. Unlike white clover, which often stays lower and more lawn-like, crimson clover grows taller, fuller, and more seasonal. It feels less like a permanent green carpet and more like a living cover crop with a purpose. In many U.S. gardens, crimson clover is sown in fall or early spring to protect empty beds, orchard rows, and garden edges. As it grows, its foliage shades the soil, reduces erosion, and helps keep bare ground from becoming a weed nursery. Because it is a legume, it can also work with soil bacteria to fix nitrogen, although that benefit depends on the right conditions, and becomes most useful when the plant is cut and allowed to decompose. Crimson clover prefers full sun, well-drained soil, and moderate moisture while getting established. It can handle average garden soil, but it performs best when the seed bed is prepared lightly and kept evenly moist during germination. When its deep red flower heads appear, the garden takes on a completely different character, more like a small meadow than a bare planting space. Bees and other pollinators are often drawn to those blooms. The key is management. Cut crimson clover before it sets mature seed if you do not want it returning everywhere. Used wisely, this seed becomes a seasonal soil blanket, a pollinator bridge, and a natural source of future organic matter. It is a strong reminder that mulch does not always have to be dead material. Sometimes it starts as a seed,